Why do you think there is a rise in knife crime in Manchester?
I think it's not just Manchester, it's a countrywide epidemic, and I'd put a lot of that down to austerity. People living in poverty, and the cutbacks to services has meant there's not lots of option for those living in poorer communities in the city. It's not an excuse for people to commit crime, but it seems when people in poverty have nothing, they turn to maybe getting involved, to taking drugs, drug dealing, burglary, things like that, which needs to be addressed. So if you cut all the services to youth provision, where are young people supposed to go? Where are their opportunities? And police cuts. Police cuts have been massive, and there's not been that engagement, intervention. So they've just carried on doing that. Social media's played a big influence, because you're able to contact people, find out stuff. People are using that as a way of bullying and getting to people. So, and it's used as a bit of a revenge. So there's not one answer why it's happening. I think there's quite a few. And Manchester, I personally know young men who are in prison or who've been murdered, and it's very upsetting to see people of a young age and think it's a bit normal. It's not normal, and it's something we have to look at the strategy for. So helping people, it's again, it's not one answer. Myself, I devised a presentation based on cases that had happened and what was the issues, and also a film with young people that I worked with. So that was based on joint enterprise, because unfortunately, if young people are a group, live in poorer communities, have got a connection, maybe involved in music or football, things together, and live in communities like my side, it's very easy to say they're gang people, even though they're just a group of friends. So awareness raising for me is the biggest one. So I developed a package that goes into schools, secondary schools in Manchester, and I've spoken to over 10,000 young people, making them aware. But a lot of our young people involved are in pupil referral units, so there may be other issues. So you've got to bring that awareness of, if you get involved in this crime, this is what's going to happen. If you're with certain people, your reputation and who you are, this is what you've got to do. I also think the local authority, the police and the health service have got to be involved, because if the council doesn't have a strategy to deal with this, how are they going to protect people? And the health reasons, is it mental health? Is it that we don't cover it within our school, PSHE, and the police because they're not there to deal with intervention, or they just criminalise people because they've had a knife? Having a knife can actually get you 4 years in prison, but is it right to get everybody to be charged? But then the argument is, well, that one person could kill somebody. So I think it's got to involve communities, it's got to involve young people, there's got to be different mechanisms of doing that, and how you involve young people is from their level. You've got to understand what they're living in communities where you want to protect yourself, but in reality it's only a small minority who actually carry knives and use knives. Most of the country lives peacefully and doesn't go in fear, but especially for young men, they just want protection.